Hello everyone, myself Brinda Patel, Assistant Professor in Computer Engineering Department, SSIT. In the previous lecture, we have learned about spatial correlation and convolution and about smoothing spatial filters. In that, we have see foundation Laplacian operator. So, in today's lecture, we will see about sharpening spatial filters. So, now let's start with sharpening spatial filters. So the principal objective of sharpening is to highlight transitions in intensity uses of image sharpening and include applications ranging from electronic printing and medical imaging to industrial inspection and autonomous guidance in military systems. So we have seen that image blurring could be accomplished in the spatial domain by pixel averaging in neighborhood. So because averaging is analog to integration, it is logical to conclude that sharpening can be accomplished by spatial differentiation. So this section deals with the various ways of defining and implementing operators of sharpening by digital differentiation. So the strength of the response of derivative operator is proportional to the degree of intensity uh, of the image at the point at which the operator is applied. So now let's see about the foundation. So in these two sections that follow, we consider in same detail sharpening filters that are based on first and second order derivative respectively. So to simplify the explanation, we focus attention initially on the one-dimensional derivatives. In particular, we are interested in the behavior of these derivatives in areas of constant intensity at the onset and end of the discontinuities. So this type of discontinuities or continuities can be used to model noise points, lines and edges in an image. So the behavior of derivatives during transitions into and out of these image features also is of interest. The derivatives of digital function are defined in terms of differences. There are various ways to define these differences. So we require any definition, so we use for a first derivative. So first derivative is must be zero in areas of constant intensity, must be non-zero at the onset of an intensity step or ramp, and must be non-zero along ramps. So any definition of a second derivative must be zero in constant areas, must be zero at onset and at the end of an intensity step or ramp, or must be zero along ramps of constant slope. Because we are dealing with digital quantities whose values are finite, the maximum possible intensity changes also is finite, and the shortest distance over which that change can occur is between adjacent pixels. So the basic definition of first order derivative of one dimensional function fx is the difference of fx equal to fx plus 1 minus fx. So we used a partial derivation here in order to keep the notation the same, as we can consider an image function of two variables fxy, at which time we will dealing with partial derivatives along the two spatial axes. Use of the partial derivative in the present discussion does not affect it any way the nature or what we are trying to accomplish here. So here derivative of x and y equal to df upon dx when there is only one variable in the function. The same is uh, true for the second derivative. So here we define a second order derivative of fx as the difference as the second order derivative of fx equal to fx plus 1 plus fx minus 1 minus 2fx. So it is easily verified that these two dimensions satisfies the conditions stated above. So to illustrate this and to examine the similarities and differences between the first and second order derivatives of a digital function, uh, consider the example in this figure. So here figure shows the section of scan line, the values inside the small squares which are the which are plotted as a black dots above in figure A. So the dashed line connecting the dots is included to aid visualization. As the figure shows, the scan line contains an intensity ramp, three sections of constant intensity, and an intensity step. So the circles indicate the onset or end of intensity transitions. So first and second order derivatives computed using the two preceding definitions are included below. The scan line in figure B are plotted in figure C. When computing the first derivative at location x, so we subtract the value of the function at the location from the next point. So this is a look ahead operation. To compute the second derivative at x, we use the previous and the next points in the computation to avoid a situation in which previous or next points are outside the range of the scan line. So we saw derivative computations in this figure from the second through the penultimate points in the sequence. So let's now consider the properties of the first and second derivatives as we traverse the profile from left to right. So first we encounter an area of constant intensity as figure B and C. So both derivatives are 0 there. So condition 1 is satisfied for both. So in next we encounter an intensity ramp followed by a step, and we note that the first order derivative is non-zero at the onest of the ramp, and the step similarly in the next step the second derivative is non-zero at the onset and end of both the ramp and the step therefore property. So now it is satisfied both derivatives, so we see that property. Now in third case is satisfied also for both derivatives because the first derivative is non-zero and the second zero along the ramp. So note that the sign of the second derivative changes at the onset and end of the step of ramp. In fact, we can see in figure C that in a step transition, a line joining these two values crosses the horizontal axis midway between the two extremes. Now, using the second derivative for image sharpening, the Laplacian. So, in this section, we consider the implementation of 2D second order derivatives and their use for image sharpening. So, the approach is basically consists of defining a discrete formulation for the second order derivative and then constructing a filter mask based on that formulation. We are in we are interested in the isotropic filters whose response is independent and the direction the discontinuities in the image to which the filter is applied. In the other words, isotropic filters are rotation invariant in the sense that rotating the image and then applying the filter gives the same result as applying the filter to the image first and then rotating the result. So it can be shown that the simplest isotropic derivative operation is the Laplacian, which for a function fxy of two variables is defined as del square f equal to second derivative of fx plus second derivative of xy. because derivatives of any order are linear operations, so the Laplacian is a linear operator. So in the x direction we have second derivative partition for fx f and x is equal to fx plus 1 fx plus 1y plus fx minus y minus 2fxy, and for fx for the y direction we have fxy plus 1 plus fx y minus 1 minus 2fxy. So it follows from the preceding three equations that the discrete Laplacian of two variables is del square fxy is equal to fx plus 1y plus fx minus 1y plus fx y plus 1 plus fx y minus 1 minus 4fxy. So this equation can be implemented using the filter mask. We can see in, using figure A, which gives an isotropic result for rotations in increments at 90 degree. So the diagonal directions can be incorporated in the definition of the digital Laplacian by adding two or more terms. So adding more terms in this equation, last one. So one for each of the two directional directions, the form of each new item in the same is either like equation 4 or like equation 5, but the coordinates are along the diagonals because each diagonal terms also contains a minus 2fxy term. The total subtracted from the differences terms now would be minus fxy. So figure B shows the filter mask used to implement this new definition. So this mask yields isotropic results in increments of 45 degree. So you are likely to see in practice the Laplacian mask in figure C and D. So they are obtained from definitions of the second derivatives that are negatives of ones who uses equation this above equation 4 and 5 as such that yield equivalent results, but the differences in sign must be kept in mind when combining a Laplacian filtered image with another image. Because Laplacian is a derivative operator, its use highlights intensity discontinuities in an image and de-emphasizes regions with slowly varying in intensity levels. So this will tend to procedure images so have edge lines and other problems. So all these figures on a dark featureless background. So background features can be recovered while still preserving the sharpening effect of the Laplacian simply by adding the Laplacian image to an original image. So to in this it is important to keep in mind that the Laplacian is used in that. So if the definition used as a negative center coefficient, then we subtract rather than add the Laplacian image to obtain a sharper result. Now we can see here g xy equal to fxy plus c del square fxy, where fxy and gxy are the input and sharpened image respectively. The constant is c is equal to -1 if the Laplacian filters in figure A and B are used, and c equal to 1 if either the other two filters is used. Now here figure A shows a slightly blurred image of the north pole of the moon. Figure B shows the result of filtering this image with the Laplacian mask in figure A. Large sections of these images are back because Laplacian contains both positive and negative values. and all negative values are copied at 0 by display. So the typical way to scale Laplacian image is to add it is maximum value to bring the new maximum to 0 and then scale the result to full 0 to L minus 1 intensity image. So the image in this is dominant features of the images are edges and sharp intensity discontinuities. The background previously black is now gray due to scaling. This grayish appearance is a typical Laplacian images that have been scaled properly. So figure D shows the result obtained using equation above equation in that c equal to -1. So the detail in this image is unmistakably clearer and sharper than the original image. Adding the original image to the Laplacian restored the overall intensity variations in the image, with the Laplacian increasing the contrast at the locations of intensity discontinuities. Now figure E shows the result of repeating the improvement in sharpness. So it is a procedure with filter in figure B. So here we note a significant improvement in sharpening over figure D, which is not unexpected because using the filter in figure B provides additional differentiation in the diagonal directions results such as in figure D and E. Now unsharp masking and high boost filtering. So a process that has been used for many years by the printing and publishing publishing industry to sharpen images consists of subtracting an unsharp version of an image from the original image. This process is called unsharp masking, consists of the following steps: blur the original image, subtract the blurred image from the original image, add the mask to the original. Now letting f bar xy denote the blurred image, unsharp masking is expressed in equation from as follows. So the first is obtain the mask g mask xy equal to fxy minus f bar xy. Then we add a weighted portion of the mask back to the original image, which is gxy equal to fxy plus k into g mask into xy, where k is greater than equal to 0. So where we include the weight k for generality. When k is equal to 1, we have unsharp masking. So here when k is greater than 1, the process is referred to as the high boost filtering. Now this figure explains how unsharp masking works. So the intensity profile in figure A can be interpreted as a horizontal scan line through a vertical edge that transits from a dark to a light region in the image. So here figure B shows the result of smoothing on the original signal of the for the reference, and figure C is unsharp mask obtained by the subtracting the blurred signal from the original. By comparing this result with the section of figure C corresponding to the ramp in figure A, we note that the unsharp mask in figure C is similar to what we would obtain using second order derivative. So here figure D is the final sharpened result obtained by adding the mask to the original signal. So the points at which a change of slope in the intensity occurs in the signal are now emphasized. So observe that negative values were added to the original. So thus it is possible for the final result to have negative intensities if the original image has any zero values, or if the value of k is chosen large enough to emphasize the peaks of the mask to a level larger than the minimum value in the original. So negative values could cause a dark halo around edges, which if k is large enough can produce objectable results. Now here this figure shows a slightly blurred image of white text on a dark gray background. So here figure A, it was obtained using Gaussian smoothing filter of size 5 into 5 with the value sigma equal to 3. Here in C, the unsharp mask obtained using equation 3.8. So figure D was obtained using unsharp masking. This image is a slight improvement over original, but we can do it better. So figure E shows the result of using equation 9 with k equal to 4.5 value, the largest possible value we will use, and skill keep positive all the values in the final result. So the improvement in this image over this original significant. Thank you.